Pyrotechnics.
Good job. Thanks. You must be very cool.
Hello, how are you? How are you?
You are one
Thank you.
This is why. Words first.
Good evening. Program and the ticket.
Classic moment.
Yes, please take a picture now because who knows what it'll be.
How are you?
I'm good. How have you been?
Have you do the nail?
Absolutely.
Yes,
See
yes,
you again.
Good to see you.
Oh my God, you look great.
Yeah, so I'm upset sort of actually.
Thank you very much.
That's a good idea. You got to get a shot of Truett. It's important.
If you walk in out, we get water.
Yeah.
Op van de chest. Je toch wel even een mooie chest. Nee, toch.
It's not my way. It's not. It's cold. It's nothing.
Well, Sonia's not hot. She's well.
Yeah, but you get to.
You're well ventilated.
I do have that.
Sort of disappeared off the face of the earth.
You have a program, no? And the ticket for the drink after. Good evening. The program and the ticket for the after drink. Good evening. Good evening. That's the program and the tickets for drink.
Color coordination.
Good evening. Lui attendre.
Notre photographe officiel, tu parles une photo de l'équipe des deux préférés.
It's already programmed the system. It's full light, there's no lights.
No problem.
How do you want to
Thank you. More prezzies.
Exactly.
Oh, for the drink?
Yes.
Well, that's always important. Thank you.
Good evening. The program of drinking and let's get for a drink. The after.
Where who?
The program and the ticket for
aircraft carrier project?
Thank you.
Just ticket for the
the
afternoon.
program and the ticket for the after.
Thank you so much.
I'm sitting up front of where you take it.
Monsieur, vous avez un programme et un ticket for the after group.
For the afternoon, the ticket
Merci
on
beaucoup.
sir.
Donc la fête qu'on a ce change.
For a drink.
Ah, exactly. It's the ticket for the after.
Thank you very much.
Good evening.
But the top thing, no?
And then you get drink. Good evening.
Oh, sorry, sir.
Thank you.
And a ticket. Good evening. Salut.
Comment ça va?
Voilà. Je sais pas si on devrait pas donner un programme puis toi le ticket.
Ouais.
Non? Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. C'est comme. Good evening.
The ticket for the after
Program and the
Okay,
ticket.
thank you.
All right, thank you.
welcome. A program for the evening and a ticket for the afternoon. A program and a ticket.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Hi.
Fine, thank you.
Thanks very much.
For the afternoon.
Oh, right there. Hello.
Good evening.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Okay, this is the last time I will say I'm sorry, but please know my sentiments are there. I love it. Roy was sitting next to me in the meeting at the welcome kickoff. I thought, Josh was having here.
Good evening, sir. Thank you. Program and a ticket for the drink afternoon.
Ticket for the afternoon drink, okay?
Good evening. Afternoon. Good evening. Program and a ticket for Good evening. Good evening. The program and a ticket for the program and a ticket for the Good evening. Voilà. Le programme. Good evening. Hello, how are you? Ticket for the Good evening.
Hi.
The program.
Thank you very much.
The nomination.
Oh,
Steven. Steven.
how are you? I'm terrific.
Good evening. It's a program and a ticket for a drink after the dinner. Program and a ticket. Voilà. C'est le drink after the dinner. Ah, il dit monsieur Lo. Ah, monsieur Lo.
Hello, how are you?
Drink tickets.
Ah,
That's for your drink. How are you?
Good evening. Ah, that's the program and a ticket for the afternoon drink.
Okay, thank you very much.
Bonjour monsieur, bonsoir monsieur, voilà, je vous regarde. Et un petit billet pour le drink after the dinner.
Bonjour, monsieur Laurent, comment allez-vous?
Bonsoir, bonsoir.
Hello, hello. Third row from the front. For the nominees. Drink for the afternoon drink. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
De l'autre côté, for the afternoon drink.
It's like FTV,
The program is
sort of like, you know,
Free drinks, huh?
Jessica Simpson, right? You got everywhere you go, there's Greg McGillivray in the video crew.
Bessia va demander peut-être la date.
Hello.
I thought I'm on the set. Thanks so much. How are you?
Oui, c'est vrai.
Hello, I'm Mario Riley.
What's this ticket for?
Yeah, the other one.
Outstanding.
I'd like to talk to you.
Okay, good, thanks.
Qui? Non, et je l'ai pas tout à l'heure.
Excusez-moi. Hello, miss. Thank you. Sir. There you go. Hello, how you doing? How are you?
Oh, good. Thank you.
Non, mais je suis occupée. Good evening.
Sorry, sir. I have a free ticket for the afternoon drink.
is a couch.
Pas de problème.
Watch people come in.
Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, from the heart of downtown Montreal, welcome to the 2004 GSTA Achievement Awards Night. Please welcome the President of the GSTA, David Messina.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm David Messina, the president of GSTA, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to our annual Achievement Awards Night. This is a night when we pay special tribute to great filmmakers, spectacular films, the ingenious marketing behind them, and the inspiring educational programs that accompany them. At this time, I would like to express our appreciation to tonight's sponsor, Giant Screen Consortium, and ask the GSC President, Carl Sampson, to please come up to the podium.
Hello, everybody. Thank you. What a great city, Montreal. What a great GSTA. Thank you to the crew of the Old Port of Montreal. Thank you to the crew of the Paramount. And thank you to all delegates. We're very pleased that you are all with us tonight. And on behalf of the, as a sponsor tonight, the Canadian Giant Screen Consortium, I'm very honored to present you tonight the GSTA Achievement Award. Bonsoir tout le monde. Carl Sanson, président du Canadian Giant Screen Consortium. Nous sommes très fiers de vous avoir avec nous ce soir. Vous avez vu qu'en tant que ville à Montréal, on n'a pas été gêné de recevoir les gens du GSTA. Nous en sommes très fiers et prenez-en une fierté personnelle. Nous sommes... Vous savez qu'au consortium, on est un petit groupe de membres, de 31 membres, et avec Philippe et toute l'équipe, on est très fiers ce soir de recevoir tous les membres ici à Montréal, et j'espère que vous avez fait beaucoup d'excellent business ici. Donc, je suis fier de présenter le GSTA Achievement Award ce soir. Merci.
At this time, would the following individuals please approach the stage, at the right side of the stage, to receive a token of our appreciation. From the Montreal Science Center, Claude Benoit. Julie LaRoche. Come on up. Danielle Malone. Jeff Conway. Glenn Martin. Eric Bourgeois. Sidney Watkins. Bernard Paco. And Dennis Laframboise. They're shy? Yeah, are you? They're shy. Well, you have to carry all their gifts back to them. Thank you for your great hospitality. And from famous players, P.A. Sharon, let's see if they're shy. P.A. Sharon. Antonello Manacchio, Jennifer Wilson, Michael McCartney, Joe DeLuca, Pierre Cormier, Richard Daubé, and Louis Gringa. Thank you for your support. You did a great job. On the subject of tributes, we have 5 board members with us tonight who will be rotating off the board, whom we would like to thank for their service to GSTA. Tracy Guyrie, Leslie Lewis, and Mark Katz, would you please come to the stage so we can acknowledge your contribution. Tracy has been very instrumental in carrying the education torch for GSTA as it relates to our mission. She has served as the Education Committee Chair over the past 2 years and led the team that introduced the new Lifelong Learning Award, GSTA's best educational program. Leslie Lewis was very supportive and involved during the execution of the GSTA International Conference and Trade Show in Toronto, and has been an integral member of the Conference and Meetings Committee. And Mark has brought the associate members to a whole new level since his chairmanship began 6 years ago. Both the associate members of GSTA and the theater members appreciate his leadership in this area. Kathy Sullivan was not able to join us in Montreal. However, we thank her for her contributions as the association's most recent secretary. Actually, she was with us for 2 hours this morning by telephone on a conference call with the board meeting. So that shows devotion. Last but certainly not least is our immediate past president and current conference and meetings chairman, Truett Latimer. Truett has been an integral member, volunteer in GSTA's development during his tenure as president of the Houston Museum of Natural Science and currently with his company, Truett Latimer Productions. Truett was steadfast in keeping the finances of GSTA in order during his years as treasurer, has held a number of chair positions, worked side by side with past President Jim Marchbank to hire our executive director, and established the international headquarters, and was fierce in his recruitment of new theater members. Truett, please approach the podium so that we may honor your contributions to GSTA at this time. much. I'd also like to thank Truett and Claude Benoit, Conference and Meetings Committee co-chairs, for all the work that their committee has done with the organizing and producing of this international conference. Please give them a warm round of applause. And of course, the GSTA staff under the leadership of Marianne Henker, who have brought it all together for us here in Montreal. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's on with the show. And the moment we have all been waiting for, the GSTA Achievement Awards. For all of you lucky enough to win awards this evening, we would welcome a brief moment or two at the mic, if you would like to do so. Please make your way to the stage while the video is playing, and photos will be taken after the awards and before we move upstairs to our great dinner. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce the MCs for the evening's award program. For this evening's awards program, our MCs Tracy Diary and Mark Katz.
Thank you, David. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This program of awards is the result of much GSTA strategic planning over the past several years, and we have a lot to be proud of and celebrate tonight.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Well, thank you, Tracy.
This is the favourite night of the GSTA Awards. All the blood, sweat and tears, tired and emotionals. The night where we get to celebrate the hard work that we put into making the films, distributing them, and then putting them on in our theatres and selling them on. Before we get started, I'd like to ask Mike Lutz, the man who secretly hides these awards somewhere and then brings them up when nobody's looking, to come up to the stage to assist our president with the award presentations.
Mike
Lutz. He's so secret.
There he is.
Our first category tonight is the Marketing Awards, and that's where we recognise teams of the creative people who work hard with their organisations to sell these films and drive the box office business. Creative, madcap, sometimes downright dangerous. Entries are received from around the world, and they're judged by a panel of industry peers through the criteria specifically set by the GSTA.
The first of tonight's marketing awards recognizes the endless hours of brainstorming, creativity and hard work that marketing teams put in for their theater organizations. Now, the Best Film Launch by Theater Award. Here are the finalists.
Best Film Launch by Theater. Finalists. Feinstein IMAX Theater, Providence Place for NASCAR 3D, the IMAX Experience.
This is for all you gear heads. Head to the IMAX for the experience at NASCAR 3D. I'll bet you flinch when the tire comes spinning off the track.
Riverside 3D IMAX Theater at the Virginia Air and Space Center for NASCAR 3D, the IMAX Experience. Ontario Science Centre for...
Ann and I are proud to work with a great team at the Science Center, and it's 7, 8 more people that are all have a part of this. Thanks very much.
To recognise the hard work of our distributors. They launch their films in a big way and give the theatres the best and biggest tools possible to ensure their success in marketing the film. So the best marketing campaign by the distributor finalists are...
Best Marketing Campaign by Distributor. Finalists. IMAX Corporation for NASCAR 3D The IMAX Experience. The Stephen Lowe Company for Volcanoes of the Deep Sea.
The movie premiere on the really big screen. Today is the New York premiere of the new IMAX movie called Volcanoes of the Deep. Way cool.
Winner. Best Marketing Campaign by Distributor. IMAX Corporation for NASCAR 3D The IMAX Experience.
On behalf of IMAX Corporation, Erica Chesney, who oversaw this campaign. She actually had a baby a week ago, so she couldn't be here tonight, but she's here with us in spirit. We also want to thank Lauren Orleans, so you must recognize Lauren, because if we didn't put together such an amazing film, we wouldn't have had so much fun marketing it. So thank you very much.
Tonight we're pleased to announce a new category. It's the best education materials that we've been working on for a while. This is to celebrate one educational program that pulls together all the work that generally goes into making these things successful. Actors, exhibitors, film, the trained frogs, pigeons, all sorts of stuff goes into presenting a complete educational experience. All media and materials are included, and that will be awarded to the Best Educational Materials Award. And so the finalists for this new award are...
Best Educational Materials. Finalists. The Henry Ford IMAX Theater for American Trailblazers Maximum Education Program.
Is this the greatest force in which you express such confidence in the letter dispatched to me by a courier not an hour ago?
LG IMAX Theater Sydney for Spaced Out. Winner, Best Educational Materials. The Henry Ford IMAX Theater for American Trailblazers Maximum Education Program.
Correct. The object of the program is to explore and adapt the Henry Ford Museum to the
And I have to say, Lewis and Clark is the longest running film we have had at our theater since opening 5 years ago, and we continue to play it to school groups and audiences. It's the film that won't die, and I'd like to thank everyone at Destination Cinema, especially Patricia Brandino, for all her help when working with us on this film. Thank you.
Nice suit, Ron. Very sharp. Congratulations to each of the marketing and educational award winners. We're now moving on to the film awards, or for those of you thinking about dinner, the soup and salad portion of the evening. We're going to recognize all the wonderful films that have been released over the past 2 years. The first category in the Film Awards addresses GSTA's mission and its quest to foster lifelong learning and experiences. So we honor the contributions of those filmmakers who are committed to making giant screen films educational. And as voted by you, the GSTA membership, the finalists for the Best Film in the Lifelong Learning Awards category are...
Best Film for Lifelong Learning, finalists. Australia, Land Beyond Time. David Flatman, Sue Flatman, producers.
I suppose the essence of survival in this continent is learning to cope with the unpredictability. The life that lives here has had to learn to cope with the long periods between times of plenty. And that's unlike the other continents, which tend to be more set into seasons.
Bugs, Jonathan Barker, Phil Strether, Alex Ferguson, producers.
The same focus on telling the life cycle of two insects in particular, a butterfly and of a praying mantis. And in between that story, we've tried to highlight what's unique about insects, the way they move, the way they eat, just the extraordinary world of insects.
Coral Reef Adventure, Greg McGillivray, producer.
For me, this is a really important thing because I've seen the change in corals over the past 25 years. There's been a significant loss in corals, but also their beauty has changed. I felt it was important to show the public how significant that shift has been.
Roar, Lions of the Kalahari. Tim Liversidge, National Geographic producers.
Nearly 500 pounds. This lion is one of the largest to walk the Kalahari Desert. His reign has been long, almost 3 years.
Volcanoes of the Deep Sea. Stephen Lowe, Pietro Serapiglia, producers.
Scientists were astonished to discover that Freeborn's red color comes from blood containing hemoglobin, very much like our own. So who are these fantastic creatures of the dark who share with us the very blood that flows through our veins?
Winner, Best Film for Lifelong Learning. Bugs, Jonathan Barker, Alex Ferguson,
talk and not hold it. Thank you very, very much indeed. That's really extremely kind. On behalf of Alex and myself, I just want to make a sort of private thank you to the absent Mike Slee and Abby Aram and Tim Wellspring, who's sitting in the auditorium there. We had a lot of fun making Bugs, and we tried to make it as amusing and as entertaining as we possibly could. And we really hoped also that we were going to be contributing to the concept of lifelong learning. And I guess receiving this award means we got that balance just about right. So thank you very much indeed.
I just wanted to pay special thanks to, excuse me, the particularly the five theaters that entered into this journey with us in the beginning, and who looked at the script and interacted with us about it. That was a very important part of getting the messages right for the film. And in particular, the National Museum of Natural History at the Smithsonian, which not only did that, but also provided a scientist, Nate Irwin, who was very helpful, and also prepared the educational materials with us. So thanks to them. And one more final thing, which is there are moments in this business where one can easily get into a state of great despair, and because it is so darn difficult to get these films made and get them funded. But then there is the moment, and this is directly related to the mission and education, where Phil and I sat in the audience in the California Science Center last spring, and they brought in 300 school kids, and we watched the film with 300 school kids. The great thing about this was they forgot to bring enough teachers. And because there were almost no teachers present, There was a direct interaction between the film and the kids, and I've never had an experience like that in my entire life, and it made the whole thing worthwhile to have them totally interact with that film. They got a hell of a lot out of it. So thank you very much for this award.
Now we move on to recognize a special achievement in film. This award goes to an individual or individuals for their truly outstanding work in any craft or category on a specific film production. Nominations from the GSTA membership were solicited and then judged by the GSTA's Production and Technical Committee.
And we'd like to ask a previous Special Achievement Award winner to come present the award. Can David Keeney please come up to the stage?
Drum roll, please. The GSTA is very pleased to present this award to Stephen Lowe for his outstanding work. Volcanoes of the Deep Sea. This filmmaker truly put his life on the line to take us all where nobody had been before. He photographed in the amazing quality of IMAX large format to bring us fantastic images, discoveries that have furthered the knowledge of the scientific community and enriched programming for our theaters. Please sit back and enjoy this clip from the film.
Special achievement in film goes to Stephen Lowe for Volcanoes of the Deep Sea.
The significance of this film is that it's probably the most extensive deep ocean photographic expedition ever.
We're seeing things with a clarity undreamed of 20 years ago, and we're seeing things we never knew existed.
I can say without hesitation, the view that we see through IMAX is way beyond anything we can see ourselves from a submersible.
We did enormous lighting on the submarine with new technology lights. We did undercranking of the camera, raising the ASA of the exposure so that we could see 100 feet out in a water column and not just 10 or 15 feet out. And we did real science as well, which I think raises the film to a whole new level.
20 years ago when I first went down, I was able to look out a window and see 20 to maybe 25 feet at a maximum. During this expedition, we're looking at that same porthole and we're seeing 150 feet.
The lighting system is quite different than the system we developed for the Russian submarines. We used a lot of smaller lights, which seemed to be better performance, and we used a very high light looking straight down, which we found to be a lot more effective. The wonderful thing about diving in the deep ocean is that everywhere we went, scientists were discovering new things all the time. We'd go down on one dive and you ask a scientist, what's this and what's that, and in many cases didn't know. The idea of exploration to me is the most exciting, and the deep ocean is not very well explored. Basically, it's the last great frontier.
The 2004 Special Achievement in Film goes to Stephen Lowe for outstanding technical and scientific achievement in Volcanoes of the Deep Sea.
Unfortunately, I wrote this big, long-winded speech, but no one else has given any of those. So if you want to approach me individually, I'll read it to you. There's just so many people to thank, and from the people who took the incredible risks, the financial people who stuck with this over what is 10 years to make this film. It's just, I don't want to start individually mentioning people, but thanks to you all. This is a fabulous honor, and it couldn't come at a better time for our little company. Thank you very much.
The next category we'll take a look at is the best sound, whether it's sound editing, design, the original mix, the score, all the various grunts and clicks and beeps and conversation that goes on. The sound elements are all integral to the IMAX experience. So the finalists for the best sound
Best Sound, finalists. Bugs, Tim Archer, sound design, John Lund, composer. Coral Reef Adventure, Steve Wood, composer. NASCAR 3D, the IMAX experience. Peter Tilley, sound design. Corey Mandel, re-recording engineer.
To have the sound that IMAX films have, it'll be the closest thing, I think, that those fans will be able to experience what it's like for the drivers.
Our Country. Michael Davis, sound design. Randy Scruggs, music and score.
And music is a value that brings to several land called simply America.
Roar, Lions, the Kalahari. James Levine, composer. Michael Stearns, sound design.
And usually make it known.
Best sound. NASCAR 3D, the IMAX experience. Re-recording sound design. Corey Mandel, re-recording engineer.
Thank you very much. I'd really like to thank Steve and Don Kent for not entering Pulse Stomp Odyssey again this year. Actually, we share this award with a great many people. First and foremost, my colleague Peter Tilley, Simon Wintz, our director, Terry Blythe, our editor, who pushed the envelope on this film. You might have noticed that. I'd like to also mention Ed Douglas, who's a great sound designer and built all of our cars for us. Eric Colvin, our composer. And a very special thank you to Lauren Orleans, our producer, who's here tonight. Lauren?
Yeah.
This film couldn't have been made without Lauren. He's a great asset to any production he's with, and we were fortunate to have him. Thanks to everyone at Technicolor Toronto, my two assistants, Ben Swarbrick and Ian Rodness, who slaved over a hot console, and very gratifying to win this. Thank you very much.
just like to add a special note of thanks to Greg Foster and Disco, also Disco for not killing us at the Atlanta Speedway. Also, and Lauren for, I've been in many ditches and many soundtracks with Lauren, and it was a great privilege to survive that one. Also Chris Miller, Ed Douglas of my team, and Andy Malcolm, who's the greatest Foley artist in the world.
The directors of photography in the giant screen industry create some of the most spectacular shots in the world. Here are the finalists as voted by you, the GSTA membership, for Best Cinematography.
Best Cinematography. Finalists. Coral Reef Adventure. Howard Hall, Director of Photography.
Having Howard and Michelle Hall both on screen and behind the camera for Coral Reef Adventure was an obvious choice for the director, Greg McGillivray.
Well, Howard and Michelle Hall have been known to me as the best underwater cinematographers in the world. When I had the idea to make this film, I knew that I wanted Howard and Michelle to be part of it.
Pulse, a Stump Odyssey. Christopher Lenzenberg, James Nyhouse, Directors of Photography. Roar, Lions of the Kalahari. Tim Liversidge, Richard Jones, Directors of Photography.
Tim Liversidge defies the odds to bring the world some of the most stunning images of wild Africa. But this is no ordinary film. His dream is to create a giant screen spectacle as big and bold as a lion's roar.
Volcanoes of the Deep Sea. William Reeve, Director of Photography. Young Black Stallion. Reed Smoot, Director of Photography. Winner. Best Cinematography. Coral Reef Adventure. Howard Hall, Director of Photography.
Well, Howard and Michelle are not here tonight, as you can tell. I wish they were. You know how much I think of them. They also worked very closely with Brad Oland, who was the DP of the land-based photography, and Jack Tankard, who was the DP of the aerial photography, a team that we've used for many, many years, almost 20 years now. It's a joy to work with these folks. I have to also thank, not only on the photographic end, but on the production end, Alec Lorimore and Steve Judson, the editor, the composers, Steve Wood and Crosby, Stills and Nash, and of course the sponsors and financial end, the National Science Foundation, the National Wildlife Federation, Museum Film Network, the Boston Museum of Science, and all of our great and wonderful sponsors. Thank you so much for this award. Howard and Michelle and their team will love it. Thank you.
Producers and directors often work for a number of years on their labors of love. And in the end, they're usually very tired and sometimes broke. But, maybe often broke. But we love them for making these films and want to acknowledge the hard work that went into the many films that were eligible here tonight. Once again, the GSTA membership voted, and here are the finalists for Best Film.
Best Film finalists: Bugs, Jonathan Barker, Phil Strether, Alex Ferguson, producer.
It's not a place that a lot of people will ever get to in their lives. So what it gives us the opportunity to do as filmmakers is to take the camera, take it to a remote location, take it into environments that most people will never get to see, create a story around that, and go in even tighter and closer and look at miniature worlds and make them so big that they become immersive.
Pulse, a Stomp Odyssey. John Kemp, Steve Kemp, Jim Stern, Harriet Levy, Steve McNicholas, Luke Creswell, directors.
This film's basically about the rhythm of the world and the music of the world, but in a way it's about the people of the world. Stomp takes the audience on a journey around the globe, and really a voyage of discovering different kinds of rhythms, different kinds of music. It's a trip that takes us all over the world.
In a few short years, it was back with a scale and vigor almost beyond belief.
Jane Goodall's Wild Chimpanzees. David Lickley, producer. David Lickley, director.
Along the eastern shore of Lake Tanganyika and took my first step into what is today Gombe National Park, Tanzania, East Africa. I'm going to take you on a trip to this amazing place with its amazing chimpanzees.
Winner, Best Film. Pulse, a Stomp Odyssey. Jim Stern, Harriet Levy, producer. Luke Creswell, director.
Wider, wider.
Merci beaucoup. That's fantastic. Didn't expect that at all, and it's a real honour to, with a film that's very different to a lot of IMAX movies, to be in the company of Volcanoes of the Deep, and Bugs and Coral Reef, movies like that. That just great IMAX movies. To be included in that group is a real honour. Thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup. Bonsoir. Thanks very much. It's a great honor. And thanks to all the GSTA, to all the theaters that have programmed the film, and thanks to our sponsor, Honda, as well as all the others that have supported this. This is really, as most of you know, Steve and Luke's film, and we were just beneficiaries of their brilliance.
Thanks, Steve and Luke, and also thanks Steve, Tina, Annette, Rob.
As we near the end of our program tonight, I think I can smell dinner. Anyway, it gives me great pleasure to ask Dr. Emlyn Coster, our incoming GSTA president, to come and approach the podium to thank a man who has given us solid and wonderful leadership over the past 2 years, our outgoing president, David Messina.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Mark, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Just 7 years ago, David Messina took his leadership talents from the Chicago Transit Authority to the venerable Chicago Museum of Science and Industry. And for the Science Museum and the Giant Screen Worlds, I think we could all say that was a very good and fortunate move. David quickly became known and admired across the Science Center scene, making it a priority to see places and meet people, soon becoming an esteemed colleague of many fellow CEOs. Then, as a further reflection of his leadership qualities and his sense of the issues in our business, the nominating committee of GSTA 4 years ago chose to recommend David as vice president, and then 2 years ago as president. And with him at the GSTA board table has been his wonderful executive assistant from Chicago, Eileen Cabrera. While David's presidency continues until the end of this year, it is already clear that we don't have to wait to be certain about David's legacy of contributions to the Giant Screen Theatre Association. Firstly, we might summarize that his steady hand on the tiller during some choppy seas in our industry, with an innate ability to see short-term and long-term needs at the same time. Secondly, we might summarize his commitment of inclusivity in the GSTA and the industry it represents, driving step by step to an association that is stronger together with respectful and open discussion among different opinions. And thirdly, we might summarize that as a new colleague to many new people who have come to know of his thoughtful and patient and humorous style. So David, on behalf of all of those present and the association worldwide and those not present at the Montreal conference, I have the pleasure to warmly thank you. And although you're giving me big shoes to fill, I know that I can also count on the next chapters of our eye-to-eye collegiality, my friend. Welcome, and thank you, David.
Thank you very much, Evan, for those kind words. You know, the joy and the honor of working for GSTA and being involved in this association is getting to know and work with people like Imran Koster and so many other people that I've gotten to know in this association. Well, congratulations to all of tonight's award recipients. Thanks to everyone who contributed to tonight's success. To the awards subcommittee and its chairs, Brenda Tremblay and Gretchen Jaspering. Co-presenters for the evening, Mark Katz and Tracy Gyrey. The GSTA staff, Patricia Keeley for her volunteer support in producing this evening. And to Liam Romales of Riddle Films for the video presentation. And of course, our evening sponsor, the Giant Screen Consortium. Now, in recent years, we've adopted the tradition of ending the Achievement Awards program by announcing the host of the following year's conference and invite an individual from the host institution to say a few words. The Suntory Museum in Osaka, Japan will be hosting next year's GSTA International Conference and Trade Show. So I would like to ask Hiroshi Sato, the general manager from Suntory Museum, to invite you all to what's sure to be another fantastic GSTA conference.
Merci, Monsieur Moussinet. Je m'appelle Hiroshi Sato, directeur du Musée Suntory Osaka, Japan. That's all I can speak in French. Let me switch to a very universal language, which is broken English. We at Central Museum are extremely honored to be a host of next GSTA conference and trade show, and pleased to do our best to make it a successful one. Central Museum is a unique cultural complex, including an IMAX 3D theater and a gallery for exhibitions, incorporated a museum shop, cafe, and lounge. And next year, while you will be there, the gallery will have an exhibition of Art Deco, and all of you will be my personal guest to that exhibition. The location of Central Museum is interesting. It's located in the Osaka Bay Area, and Osaka Aquarium Kaiyukan, one of the largest aquariums in the world, is next to our museum. Furthermore, worldwide known Universal Studio Japan is at the other side of the river. I feel confident that all of you will enjoy your visit to Osaka, the historically commercial and industrial city of Japan. Since its completion of Kansai International Airport in 1994, most convenient doorway into Osaka, the city has been becoming more and more the business and cultural center of Asia. On top of the contemporary face of Osaka, the city is conveniently located to visit historic cities like Kyoto and Nara. Also, one of the World Heritages, Himejijo Castle, is in a day trip distance. Over there, you would enjoy a feeling of to be a Tom Cruise in Last Samurai. I can guarantee that your visit to Osaka will be both enjoyable and memorable. And Osaka is the place very meaningful to all of us in the large format film industry. I believe you know the fact that Tiger Child, which was the first IMAX film in the world, was shown at Osaka Expo in 1970. In other words, Osaka is the birthplace of the large format film, and it is going to be the 35th anniversary of the industry. In some ways, we are going back home. I'd like to invite you all to this memorable GSTA 2005 to be held in the memorable place of Osaka. And believe it or not, Osaka is well known as a city of Epicurean. I hereby promise you that the conference in Osaka will not be a hungry conference. Thank you very much, and merci beaucoup.
you very much, Sato-san. Well, think how you'd feel if you came home and did that every night. We look forward to coming to your great city and your great museum next year, and I'll see you in Osaka in 05. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our evening sponsor, the Giant Screen Consortium, invites you to dinner. On the upper level of the Centre Montreal, the center staff and the GSTA staff will direct you as to how to reach that dining facility. Finally, all award recipients, please stay behind for a few minutes for a photo opportunity. Thank you all for coming and joining us.